Stupid is the person who believes in his neighbor, Jabotinsky warned. Good and loving as the neighbor may be, stupid is the person who relies on justice. Justice exists only for those whose fists and stubbornness make it possible for them to realize it. Do not believe anyone. Be always on guard. Carry your stick always with you. This is the only way of surviving in this wolfish battle of all against all.
That is from The Message, Ta-Nehisi Coates' best-selling, second one in a row. And I loved how you categorized your books as your children. I love that. I felt it. Ta-Nehisi is here. That quote from Jabotinsky, I thought was so powerful. I feel like in many ways we want our neighbors to like us. We want to like our neighbors. We want to believe in the best of people. I think we've been conditioned. I think we know better now.
I wonder. I think people who do not want to do the work of making the world that they would like to see sometimes present the world as it is, as though that can be the only world. That Jabotinsky quote is important because it is coming from somebody whose community has been terrorized. And people have been terrorized. All through Europe. Jabotinsky was the spiritual forefather and the intellectual forefather of the current, what they call revisionist Zionism, and the current movement that rules Israel through Benjamin Netanyahu right now. That's not a world I want to live in. That's not the world that I'm fighting for. That's not the world that I'm fighting to see. I'm fighting for a world, and I think we have evidence that such a world can exist. But I'm fighting for a world where people see their humanity in other people. That has always been at the core of the best of Black politics. And I know I keep saying this. This is why I was so disappointed, to see, Palestinians and Palestinian Americans effectively pushed out of the frame. I sat, with a man by the name of Jim Zogby, and he was the last Arab American to address the Democratic Convention. And that was in 1988 at the behest of Jesse Jackson, who pushed for it. We have basically, banished them ever since, and so it's not as if 2024 was the first time, these folks have asked to have, a prominent role. We tell them they have no role. We tell them they cannot talk. We tell them that we would rather hear from pro-lifers who oppose the very platform of the Democratic Party itself, that we would rather hear from folks who endorse the torture of Muslims, that we would brandish their endorsements. We would rather hear from, Republicans who have just lost an election and, from what I can tell, have no, real constituency. And then we tell them we can offer you no assurances that we will not continue to bomb your families. Now vote for us.
Yeah. No. Again,
not exactly a winning pitch.
No, and it is very clear the way you lay it out that there are no two sides to this. Ta-Nehisi Coates is here, very poignant. The Message. 866-801-8255. We got a couple of calls. I talked about journalism. I feel like the media, I've been saying this for the last 10 years, actually, is dead. I think it's lost its soul. It has forfeited it for clicks and algorithms and dollars and advertising.
You're gonna make me into the optimist here.
Yeah. Come on, tell me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, Ta-Nehisi.
I don't know. I mean, this is a tough, space for me to be in, because I encounter young, mostly Black, but not exclusively, writers and journalists all the time who are doing, really, really tremendous work. Some of it, in mainstream media, some of it outside mainstream media. I just worked with a tremendous editor and editorial team to get the message out, which is at its core work of journalism, certainly with opinions, but is at its core, a work of journalism. And like I said, Karen, I mean, everywhere I go, there are huge crowds to hear what this is about. And so
it's a cult of personality. You had the audacity.
It's not. Let
me tell you why.
I reject
No,
it.
You can reject it all you want. It's the truth. You even saying Palestine is political. The fact that you can say that, yes, I don't stand telling the people, I said, this is what it looks like to be free. Ta-da, they can't cancel him. So because you can't be canceled, you gotta get listen.
But Karen, the thing is, that did not happen magically. Like, I wrote my way into that. You know
You
what I mean?
did. You did.
I had to write the case for reparations. I had to write between.
Yeah.
I wrote my way. It was through writing that I got the freedom. You're correct. About that to say that. But that's not me. That's not anything special, in particular about me. Our community is filled with talented young Black folks who can do the same. It takes a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
work,
That I
but
agree. But we're gonna have to
only
pull it together. We're gonna have to pull it together. On the editor's side, who misspelled Martin Delaney's name? Because I couldn't hear it, but in the
did we
book,
misspell it?
yeah, EY, y'all did. There's
I
no
mean,
E.
ultimately, it's me. Ultimately, it's me.
Okay.
It's
Okay. I
me.
appreciate that.
Whoever did it, it's me.
All right. The next printing,
I'll deal
take
with
the
it.
E out so that
Yeah.
people can to know that you know what the hell you're talking about.
I'll
'Cause
tell
we
you
do.
a secret. We messed up so many damn names that were supposed to be right in Arabic, and it was just humiliating. It was absolutely, absolutely humiliating. And I probably paid a little too much attention on that, but I will catch that. Thank you for pointing that
Okay.
out
No, I mean this
publicly.
is perfection's a process. I always tell that to people too. We get there eventually, but we get there together too. We need each other
Yes, we
to be our
do.
eyes and
Yes, we do.
ears. Let me take Kim in New York. She's got a story for you, sir. Kim in New York City. You're on with Ta-Nehisi Coates. Hey.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Coates. Good afternoon, Ms. Hunter.
All right.
I just wanted to say, Mr. Coates, thank you so much for your work. The caller before me was talking about, seeing you on CBS This Morning Show, and I saw that as well. And, I was also upset on your behalf. I bought the book, and, I saw you at the Apollo that night, the day the book came out. And then I dropped the book in my bag to take a flight from JFK to Seattle. And I was just like, I'm going to have time to read this book on my flight. And as I was sitting in the gate area, I was about to pull the book out of my bag when I'm hearing the anchor's voice saying, it's a Louis Vuitton bag. And I'm hearing his voice saying, oh, but that book would not be out of place in the backpack of, what he said. And then I had a reaction. I was like, wait, I'm in New York City, in JFK, like people might have a reaction to it. And then I felt like a coward for having that reaction, and I was just like, he was successful in what he said in making me have that reaction, right? Because it was like, it's a book. I have, Mr. Coates' other books. Like, why should I feel ashamed to read this book? And then I was ashamed of the reaction that I had. And then I was mad at the fact that I had that reaction. And, I'm the only one that knew that, but thank you for your work. Thank you for your voice, and thank you for empowering other people. Your voice is just so important. And, I failed on that part, by the reaction I had, but I don't know. I just think that he was successful that day in labeling your book that way, because then that was, even if it just happened to me, that was the result of what happened.
He wasn't successful though, because you bought the book. I'm sure you read it at some later. You don't have to read my books in public. There's no, I just want you to read them. There's no ironclad law that says when and where you have to read them. That doesn't matter to me too much. And I hope you aren't too hard on yourself about that.
And more importantly, as Dr. Carr would talk about people buying books for furniture, and reading the books is where we can have these conversations,
Yes.
And I love your honesty with yourself, with us, because you're still working things out. We're all working things out.
Mm-hmm.
New information comes in and you have to sit and examine it. You travel, you get a different perspective. A lot of us are talking, not having put eyeballs on a space, and they don't know anything. A lot of us are in our own, little, narrow view of things, and you allow us to think more deeply, and that's the whole point of this, right? This is why we write. This is why we read.
Yes,
Kim,
indeed.
thank you for your call. James in Maryland, your backyard, your home state. Hey, Maryland, what's up?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, I want to say that since I've been alive, I'm in my 60s, and I watched the Palestinian throw rocks as a young man. During that time, Netanyahu was a general. And my question is this the industrial military complex? Because so many people have been displaced, and particularly in that region with the Palestinians, the Syrians, and so many others, the African nations as well. as you see the people on our southern border here, do you think that that's the issue with the military, selling bombs?
I suspect so. I don't know. Like, you've reached the limits of my knowledge and approached the edge of many of my questions. And here's why I suspect so. Those American bombs and those American planes, somebody sells those and somebody profits from those. I was talking to somebody recently who had, some degree of expertise in this, and she pointed out to me that 50% of all American weaponry is sold into the Middle East, and it primarily goes through two places. The number one place is Israel, and the number two place is Egypt. So apartheid and dictatorship are the two places where there are two markets for this, and somebody's making money off of it. So a lot of times, even when I know, like, I was putting the standard, on Kamala and on Democrats, and it's a standard that, frankly, no other president has ever measured up to. So I just want to be absolutely clear about that. I was asking for something very, very particular, definitely. But I will say one of the things that she would have had to oppose was not just, I guess, the nerve of the pressure of those who lobby on behalf of Israel, but I suspect also on behalf of those who sell those guns and those planes and those bombs. I don't know the size of that. I don't know the scope of that. I don't know the influence of it, but it can't be small.
And we have a minute left. Mike Huckabee has been named the ambassador to Israel. I do believe that there is a strain of this fake Christian evangelical hoping to usher in the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Yes, they're anti-Semites.
Yes.
They are anti-Semites.
Yes. But they think that they are doing something to bring Jesus back by supporting the nonsense that's going on and the horrors that are going on right now. And it's a big thing, Ta-Nehisi, that we don't talk about enough, I think.
I agree. I mean, and I think, like, there's a whole, class of people who like Jewish people as long as they're over there. But the Jewish people here, they, it's something different.
Whew. Well, let me tell you, first of all, I'm grateful you came after the book tour. I'm grateful you came after the election. I'm grateful that you keep coming back here. You have home here. You're home here. I appreciate it.
I do. Thank you. I appreciate it, Karen.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.